Adam Schefter in here with some top stories. And Shefty, we start in Baltimore. All eyes on Lamar Jackson's status this week.
Laura, for the second straight day today, Lamar Jackson did not practice due to that hamstring injury, and it's looking like he'll be unable to play Sunday against the Houston Texans, which would mean that Cooper Rush would step in and start for Lamar Jackson. Let's keep in mind, the Ravens play the Rams at home next week before there's a bye, so they could opt to hold him out of 2 games and get a month's worth of rest. Let's also keep in mind one other issue for the Baltimore Ravens. Their Pro Bowl safety Kyle Hamilton did not practice today due to a groin injury that it seems he sustained during practice yesterday.
Jeez.
So they already are missing a whole bunch of starters. They're missing Lamar, and now they could be without Kyle Hamilton as well.
Golly, it's like the theme of the day for any team that's facing the Rams in upcoming weeks.
Yeah.
J-Mac, whether it's Lamar or Cooper Rush, is there a vulnerability in that Texans defense, though, that Baltimore can try to exploit?
I love the Houston Texans defense, but if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, whether Lamar's out there or not, I'm handing the ball off to Derrick Henry. 4 career games of 200 yards against the Houston Texans. And a part of that is getting to the second level. If you can get up to those linebackers, which are pullers, which are down linemen, you can gain some yardage against them and force those smaller backers who run all over the field to have to go through your big guys up front to make tackles. It's also an advantage to have your quarterback under center and Derrick Henry behind him and him running downhill and being able to dictate where he wants to go and cut off of those blockers. I think it's huge for the Baltimore Ravens for him to get going. He had 18 rushes in week 1. Since then, it's been below 15, falling all the way to 8 last week.
Yeah, the Texans have allowed the second most yards per rush versus pistol formation over the last 2 seasons. Great stuff from J-Mac. All right, more quarterback news here, Adam. This time in Washington, where Jayden Daniels has missed the last 2 weeks. What do we know about his status?
Doctors have cleared him to return to practice, and he believes he's going to be able to play on Sunday against the Los Angeles Chargers. So that's good news for Jayden Daniels, who missed the last 2 weeks with a knee sprain. He was replaced by Marcus Mariota, but the doctors feel like he's made progress with the 2 weeks off, the 2 games he's missed, and now he is expected to be out there on Sunday, back behind center for the Washington Commanders.
Dan, sorry, we were stretching over here. Dan, even if Jayden is back out there, you think there are much bigger problems in D.C. right now?
Oh, my goodness. Their defense right now on tape is a really difficult watch, and it's a little bit of the young guys, and then it's a lot of guys that have unbelievable careers in this league. Number one, how they handle motion in their communication. They're rocking and rolling that safety and backside safety. They're changing man coverage responsibilities. One's trying to communicate to the corner at the bottom of the screen, and all of a sudden both that corner and that drop-down safety end up playing Drake London by themselves. Nobody's playing Kyle Pitts. It's man-to-man coverage, so communication and motion settings. Number two, Marshawn Lattimore is an all-time great corner over the last 10 to 15 years. Right now, he's just struggling in man coverage, and teams are realizing it, and they're just taking shots at him, either getting that shot hit or getting a penalty. Bobby Wagner, outstanding Hall of Fame linebacker. I think teams are searching him out in man coverage, and I think that's where the Commanders are, is like, they don't necessarily want to be in man coverage, but they have to be in man coverage, but they can't be in man coverage. And then nosy eyes. This is, once again, man-to-man. You have a certain person, everybody, guy for guy. Both defenders at the bottom of the screen in this little ball fake have their eyes in the backfield, not in their guy. Michael Penix has 2 options to throw the football to. And so I think for Washington, indifferent of who's playing quarterback, if they're going to be the team that they thought they were going to be coming off of last year, they got to get back to some really good base fundamentals of how they're going to play defense. Right now, their defense is the biggest question mark of their football team.
Oh, the Eagles' defense has caused many problems for opposing quarterbacks this season. Philadelphia allowing the lowest completion percentage in the NFL at only 57%. Bad news for Broncos fans. Bo Nix is completing only 66% of his passes, which ranks 19th in the NFL. We got our quarterback and defensive back at the touchscreen now, showing us exactly how difficult that Eagles defense can be.
Yeah, sticky coordination is how I describe their secondary. It's interesting. Last year, their defense was in many ways led by their front.
Yes.
Still a good front, but this year their defense is led by their secondary. So a couple clips. You're going to see Tampa It's man-to-man defensively from Philadelphia. Tampa's going in motion.
Yeah.
Now, DeJean, he goes underneath these guys. Is that intentional?
It's intentional by him. I play with linebackers. Dante Hightower would want to whoop your you-know-what if you ran in front of him and the ball was snapped. He would get on you. But they've communicated, and he knows I'm going in front of those guys.
My next question is he intentionally getting depth off Quinyon Mitchell to make sure there's no pick?
Absolutely. The main thing when you have guys press, you have to be at levels. So he knows Quinyon is pressed right here. As I'm coming over, I cannot be on the same level. More impressive is they've talked about this.
Yeah.
There's no communication. He knows when Cooper's coming in motion, I'm locked. I'm not leaving my guy. He's taking the guy coming in motion.
Now, this is going to be the ISO of it, and I want you to talk us through exactly what Quinyon's doing versus Egbuka.
What we're seeing from Quinyon Mitchell, he's becoming a shutdown corner. Look at his eyes right here. Hands on. Now I can start to read and see. I may be reading somebody else coming out. I get eyes to the quarterback. But the beauty of this is not the eyes. It's when the guy goes to break, that hand right there on the back of his jersey. I posted that he's been playing the best of any cornerback in the league. Every Tampa Bay fan was pissed off. He's grabbing us. He's grabbing us. If you grab low and he doesn't call it, and he has the white gloves on the white jerseys, and you get away with it.
And so let me ask, if when he's peeking back at that quarterback, does this also help him drive on the football in this moment? Because when I watch this from an offensive perspective, I see a ball that I'm like, dang, I can't throw it as a quarterback better.
Any better.
Yet he's right there raking down on the receiver's arms.
The difference between elite cornerbacks and good cornerbacks is how you finish at the point of attack. It's not about can you cover a guy. There's so many people that can run and be right there, but can you finish? When the ball is right there, point of attack, can you violently rip the ball out of a guy's hands? Quinyon Mitchell has been one of the best in the league at this.
Big time. Okay, so the second clip, they're in man coverage once again.
Yep.
That bunch, there's that different levels. Now the focus is going to be down at the bottom of the screen. It's 3rd and 3. I want you to talk us through Quinyon Mitchell once again versus Emeka Egbuka.
We continue to talk about his eyes, so you see the feet. But now, once he starts to go in, what you guys are trying to do as an offense right here, you're trying to sell me on that.
I want you to
route
run all the way across the field.
On 3rd and short. And right now for Quinyon Mitchell, he has his eyes right on the back of Ibuka's back. So he knows if he comes back, he has to go through me. But more importantly, he knows where the sticks are. He knows where that yellow line is. He can have the catch as long as he doesn't get the first down. This is beautiful. Eyes, then feet, and now he can make a play on 3rd down to get him off the field.
Part of it is because he knows he has a little help inside with that dropping defender. So is he intentionally kind of sitting on that outside hip?
And even if he didn't, when this guy starts to run across her, we call it jet stream. I get right behind him, and I follow behind him on a straight track to make sure I can't get picked from anybody else.
This is one of the most impressive defensive clips I've watched on tape this season so far, okay? It's once again man-to-man coverage. You get a little bit of short motion from Godwin. I want everyone to pay attention. If we were just drawing this up right now, we'd go, okay, you have him in man-to-man. You have him in man-to-man. You have him in man-to-man, and then this Mukubu would be the drop-down defender, okay? Now watch what happens from this defense. J-Mac, talk me through it, because what happens is he goes across, and instead of DeJean running with, he passes it off to Ringo up top, and then Ringo, instead of him going across, he passes it off to Cooper DeJean.
So now what you end up with is you have a free player in the middle of the field and Zach Bond low, and then you have a free player high. So what happens is you say to your corners, hey, if we're getting crossing routes, we don't need to chase those guys. Zach Bond feels this one coming. He's going to take that one. Makuba's up top. He already is coming downhill, and now he's driving towards Chris Godwin, and they're both going to get help on the outside because Ringo's here to pick up this one, and now you have Cooper DeJean. You pick him up to pick this crossing route out. Living a little dangerous, but this is pre-snap communication, knowing where your guys are. I guarantee you Makuba's saying right there to Cooper, hey, I'm looking towards you. Zach Bond is saying to Ringo on the left, hey, eyes are towards you. So now you can communicate it through post-snap as well.
The crazy thing to me is that means that basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys are essentially on the same page when it comes to the coverage, passing it off on the fly in less than 1 second. Like, that's an unbelievably coordinated coverage unit.
You can do that in year 2 where you maybe couldn't do it in year 1, where now you have guys that have worked together within this defense for a long time.
It's a big challenge against Denver's offense.
Yes, sir.
Super impressive. Well, you got mental telepathy there in Philly? I don't know. Of course, the other major story in Philly this week was the ESPN. Okay, Dan. The cryptic post from A.J. Brown after the game on Sunday where he posted, if you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw, don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. All right, Adam Schefter back with us. Shefty, that post came after a game where Brown had just 2 catches, but the team won. What's been the fallout in Philly after this?
Well, that really covers up what has been some problems for a 4-0 team. Now, ordinarily, 4-0 teams would not have issues. But this is a team, Laura, that over the first 4 weeks has been outscored or outgained by 327 yards in total. So they're basically not playing the way that they should on offense, defense, but they keep winning. The only team that's ever performed worse this century, there have been 71 that started 4-0, was the Arizona Cardinals. They allowed 14 more yards than the Eagles. They wound up winning 1 more game the rest of the year and firing their head coach at the end of the year. And so A.J. Brown is complaining because he wants the football. He thinks he can make a difference. I think that's how they've perceived this one to be. We've heard from him in the past, and I think that there's an expectation that when they play the Broncos on Sunday, that they'll start feeding him the football more and hope to get the offense back on track. But every team would love to have their problems. They're 4-0.
Right. We're going to start calling these Eagles problems, right?